Hey everyone, ABC 10 meteorologist Brenden Mincheff here with a live streaming weather update because we had some thunderstorms roll through the valley this evening. None of the models really picked up on the thunderstorm coverage that we ended up seeing. It was expected we'd see a little bit coming up at 11, 12 o'clock, and you kind of see those forming. But the stuff that we had between about 7 and 10, none of the models did a good job picking up on. So it was a little bit of a surprise. But I think especially in July, we're more than happy to pick up a little bit of rain wherever we can get it. We have this little cutoff low pressure system coming on in. That's what's bringing us the clouds and the thunderstorms and the unsettled weather, and of course the cooler weather as well. This is finally starting to move inland. If you're in Stockton, if you're in Modesto, if you're in the Mother Lode, you're going, what thunderstorms? You haven't seen anything down there. You've barely seen any clouds. That's because that low is actually coming more or less right over top of the San Joaquin Valley. So the rotation of this system is bringing the storms and the moisture in from Nevada across the Sierra and then into the valley where we have some humidity. And of course, whenever you get that any sort of instability in the atmosphere within the Sacramento Valley or even the San Joaquin Valley, sometimes there's so many terrain influences there that it doesn't take much for a storm to go ahead and pop up, and that's what happens. So you have this low pressure moving on through. This is bringing instability with it. It's also the driver behind the moisture that's bringing these thunderstorms, and then as they move off the hill into the valley, they're getting even some more lift due to terrain influence. So there's a combination of factors going on, but that's why if you're in the San Joaquin Valley, things have been dry. Different story in the Sacramento Valley. Starting over the last 3 hours from about 7:30 to 10:30, you can see we've had pop-up thunderstorms in the Sierra, but then we also had kind of some entrainment here moving through just north of Sacramento between about Auburn towards Yuba City. It's followed more or less Highway 20 at times, and you saw those storms that come through. None of these were particularly strong. There was one near Yuba City and Marysville that was producing some pea-sized hail, 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but none of these were on the stronger side. These were all kind of pop up and then shortly after just fizzled out, and that's more or less what we had seen. We do have actually some content from you guys, some pictures and video. Let's look at this first one here. This one's from Roseville of one of the thunderstorms that rolled in. Saw some lightning with it. There you go. That picture's from Roseville. And then we also had some from Yuba City as well. Again, this is all from Roseville. Very nice colors, some lightning in the sky. Not something we always see here in the valley in the month of July. This is from Yuba City here, shovel to the sky, summoning the lightning a little bit like Thor there. But yeah, and that's kind of how it was. Not everyone saw lightning. Some people did, especially if you were near Roseville, Lincoln, Yuba City, Marysville, obviously Roseville there. That's where those thunderstorms were. In Sacramento, in Woodland, on the west side of the valley along Interstate 5, we didn't really see those pop-up thunderstorms. We had maybe some very light showers across parts of the Sacramento metro, some lighter showers along I-5 in the Sac Valley, but the bigger stuff was on the east side of the valley and in the lower foothills. Coming back out to the map here, what you'll notice is we're now looking between about 8:45 and 9:15 with that storm near Auburn and the one near Roseville as well, the one that gave us some of those lightning pictures that we just saw. I also put a little fire icon here. Why? Because we have a new fire start. It's about 4 acres, potentially as much as 10 right now. There's firefighting resources there on the scene. This is near the Auburn Recreation Park. And this is, again, up to about 10 acres with some more firefighters on the way. Here's what it looked like just a little bit ago on the Alert California wildfire camera. This is the Sligger fire. I can't say for certain that this was lightning sparked, but what I can say is there was definitely lightning in the area, as you see on the map behind me. So this is something that we've been talking about for the last couple of days in the lead up to these thunderstorms, is that anytime we see lightning, it can spark a new fire. So it's something we're always concerned about. There were a lot of storms in the far northern part of the state today, and we have had some new fire starts up there. Thankfully, a lot of those have been very small. But this is one that we will definitely be keeping a close eye on. Again, this only started coming up on about an hour ago, an hour and a half ago at this point. Again, the Sligger fire to the northeast of Auburn, a little bit to the northwest of Georgetown. It's There's not a lot right near where this fire is, but again, the Sligger fire, something that we'll be keeping an eye on. So let's come back to the weather maps now, and we'll talk about what's out there at the moment, because we're not necessarily done with the storms this evening. You look out into the high country and you see some storms right now along 4 and 50. Kirkwood about to get a thunderstorm rolling through. This should come just to the south of South Lake Tahoe, but Placerville likely going to see some thunderstorms in the next little bit. And now we're going to start to see these storms push off the foothills westward into the valley. This could show up in the Sacramento metro area. We'll be watching closely if that does. It's likely going to fall apart fairly quickly when it comes off the hills and into the valley. But as it falls apart, we could still get a little bit of lightning and some lighter rain showers with it as well. Again, near 88, 4, 89, and 50 here. You see those major highways through the Sierra. Lots of lightning with this storm near Markleyville and near Kirkwood. Again, crossing 88 at the moment, but heading northwest towards 50. So Pollock Pines and Placerville likely going to get a thunderstorm here before too long, as well as locations along Highway 49. In the valley, we've only had one thunderstorm over the last hour, and at this point it's pretty much fizzled out. Still some rain, but not really any lightning anymore. This one's moving through Yuba City at the moment, crossing Highway 70, soon to cross over 99. And then now we're getting a couple of lightning strikes with this storm coming up in Arbuckle, headed towards Interstate 5 on the west side of the Sac Valley. The very strongest storms have been well to our north, up near Shasta, up along Highway 97 and into the Northeast Plateau, but those are starting to wind down as well as that low pressure starts to move inland and as we lose the daytime heating, right? The sun is not out anymore, so the instability is going to be coming down a little bit as we go through the next few hours. But this is that line of storms that I'm going to be watching for over the next hour to two to see if we're going to get any rain, any substantial rain, at least in the Sacramento metro area. Best chances for rain are going to be on the east side of Sacramento, are going to be up near Auburn, near Roseville, near Lincoln. And then because this is pushing northwest, you can start looking at other places further up the valley, like Yuba City, like Marysville, potentially Arbuckle again, Colusa. And then it just depends on how long they hold together once they come off the foothills. So again, that's why we're watching it. But as we look at Futurecast, you'll see those push off here. The models have not done a great job. I said this a few minutes ago. Models have not done a great job of forecasting these storms coming off the Sierra and into the valley. But as they push westward through midnight, through 1 o'clock, you do see the remnants of those thunderstorms starting to move through the valley, basically from the Sacramento metro area up towards Yuba City. And that's where we've already seen them today. So we could see a little bit more headed into the overnight hours. But tomorrow afternoon, we're basically going to repeat this weather pattern where by the time we get to about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to start to see those thunderstorms popping up on the Sierra Crest. I actually expect to see more thunderstorms tomorrow, especially near Tahoe, compared to what we saw earlier today. This is about 1:30, 2 o'clock, lots of thunderstorms near Tahoe. But the bulk of the activity, once again, going to be between about Quincy and Alturas, along 395 in the northeastern part of the state. Those are going to push off towards Shasta and the upper Sacramento Valley. Again, it has not done a great job with things in the valley, but I don't expect to see as much, if anything, in the Sacramento Valley and the San Joaquin Valley tomorrow. Saturday afternoon, we'll see some pop-up thunderstorms as well. Isolated dry lightning for Friday, once again, that we'll be watching for. But really, the thing is going to be those thunderstorms. So new fire starts possible, but you just don't want to be caught out in those thunderstorms either. Be storm ready and fire ready. Hike early and be off those peaks by noon. In the valley tomorrow, 82 degrees, staying below normal by about 10 degrees. I've got that full forecast coming up on Late News Tonight on ABC 10. Thanks so much for watching.